Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Happy July 1st. We are into the second half of the year. Hopefully, a few of you have the week off. I know a lot of people usually take the week of the 4th of July off. So, I'm going to start the month off for you with some good news. Liberalism, communism, socialism, globalism is dying. Slowly. Which makes it all that much more painful for them, which I love. I mean, you go back to the end of 2022, and Giorgia Meloni won in Italy, and that completely turned the country around in a conservative direction. You go to last year, and Javier Milei won in Argentina and turned the country around in a conservative direction. Yesterday, we had the first round of elections in France. Special elections called by Emmanuel Macron, okay? And he got his ass handed to him. Marine Le Pen, the conservative, the France's Trump, okay, won handily, pulled 37% of the vote. The closest party was the left-wing party, which was, I believe, 29% of the vote. Emmanuel Macron's party got 22. He got crushed. Now, they've got one more round of voting, and please, I'm not even going to be able to try to explain how European parliaments and politics work, because for the life of me, I don't understand it. You know, like I said to Mrs. P yesterday, it makes no sense to me. Is things go wrong for you, meaning Macron, 3 weeks ago, and his idea is, let's call a special election. Gee, I just screwed up big time, and everybody says they don't want my party, so let's call an election so they can reiterate the fact. I mean, that would be like Joe Biden coming up in 2021 and saying, let's hold a special election. Didn't I handle COVID so well? Right? I mean, I don't get it, but hey, you know, that's their government. You know, ours is pretty well simplified and as simple as the United States electoral system is, half the country still doesn't understand it. But that was some good news to see that now it looks like France will be flipping from their socialist ways back to more of, let's keep France, France. You know, it's funny when some Islamist group yesterday wanted to talk to Marine Le Pen about it. And they said, well, in order to talk to us, you have to wear this veil. And she looked at him and said, nope. Not doing it. You want to talk to me? That ain't happening. Sorry, I'm not kowtowing to your beliefs. Good, okay? France is for the French. You know, you want to be Muslim and force your beliefs on everybody else? Okay, do it in Muslim countries. France ain't one of them. And with Marine Le Pen in, it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. Hey, Germany. Hey, Great Britain. Hey, Norway. Wake up, okay? You're going to lose your country. But so then we go to the United States, which, of course, we all know that we have an election coming up. I mean, there's probably a few idiots out there who don't even realize that. Yeah, welcome to the land of the free and the home of the stupid. But it was interesting. Yesterday, there was a meeting at Camp David amongst the Biden family, informal meeting, to determine whether or not the family thinks Joe should continue to run. And all reports say that the family has decided that Joe is going to run. And apparently, Hunter Biden was the strongest supporter of Joe running. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. The family gets to decide, not the party, not the people, Joe. Joe gets to decide whether he's going to run. Well, sure. Okay. He can decide. I could go run. I could throw my name in right now. I'd never get on a ballot. I'd never do anything. But I could say, I'm running for president. It'd not happen. You can say you're going to run all you want. Whether or not it's successful is the only thing that matters. Now, the fun part is, as much as Joe insists that he's going to be the Democrat candidate, the convention may have something to say about that. As I've said before, that the way the DNC does things, yes, you've got a whole bunch of electors who are bound to vote for Biden based on what the people says. Doesn't mean that they can't be rogue electors and change their mind, but you also have all those super delegates. So Chicago's going to be fun, especially seeing as how there is a big organization already planning the Dump Joe movement at the convention in Chicago. And of course, now you have the media and the former presidents, Clinton, Obama, coming in and saying, we have to rally behind Joe. Joe's our candidate right now. I mean, they're not going to come out and say Joe's done until they've got something in the way of another organization ready to go in the wings. Okay. Now, you might say Gavin Newsom has it. There's been rumors that Gretchen Whitmer's been running around putting together stuff. Of course, the most logical one is Kamala Harris. But, because the funny part is all the donations to Joe can feasibly only go to Kamala Harris. None of those donations can be turned over to any other candidate other than Joe or Kamala. So that would hamstring them. You have the issue where Hollywood has come out like crazy and said if Joe isn't dropped from the ticket, the checkbook gets closed. That's going to hurt Joe. I still don't think he's the one on the top of the ticket in November. I hope he is. I really do. Because it'll be a landslide. As I had mentioned on Saturday, the first polls are starting to come in after the debate. And Joe's losing Michigan. But, okay. The big one was Joe's losing Jersey. And a Republican has not won New Jersey since Ronald Reagan. Okay. That would be a huge... If that happens, because Jersey closes, I think it's an 8 o'clock close, so it's a little later than some of the states, but it's still an early state to close. If it turns out that they can't call Jersey for Joe early, or it turns out that when they finally do, they call it for Trump, game over. Okay, that will tell you that Joe lost the electorate. But the funniest thing, and I'll link this below so you can mention it. This will tell you the panic that is going on. Now, you guys know I told you that the New York Times posted an editorial that Joe needs to drop out. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution posted an editorial, I think it was Saturday, that Joe needs to drop out. The Philadelphia Inquirer, now mind you this, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, swing state, posted this editorial: to serve his country, Donald Trump should leave the race. And the Philadelphia Inquirer is trying to twist the minds of the people that they say Joe's debate was a disaster, but that Trump was the one lying through the whole debate. Yeah, the Border Patrol supports me. The really good people on both sides. Inflation was 9%. The rich pay 8% taxes. Unemployment was 15%. I mean, I can go on and on and on of who actually lied, factual lies. It's funny when the left will call the Philadelphia Inquirer, if you go through, there's a link in here where they link to a CNN article that they're talking about the lies Trump told. Most of them were opinion. Your opinion can't be a lie. Okay? It's your opinion. The facts you base your opinion on can be lies. Okay? Facts are like gender. It's either true or false. Okay? There's two, just like gender. Joe told factual lies. Trump has his opinions. Okay? Saying something is the worst is subjective, not objective. Okay? You could manipulate it to say, oh, it's objective, sure. Okay. And they always come up with some sort of crazy, well, in 1752, something was different. Don't give me that. Yes, I know we didn't have a president in 1752. I'm just saying. Okay. But it's going to be fun to watch now. July. July is going to be real interesting because Biden's now supposedly going to stay in a race. We have Judge Merchan's sentencing on the 11th. That ought to be a fun day. We have the Republican convention right there afterwards. And then what's going to be even more interesting is right after the convention, then we get the Olympics. The Olympics are going to be very political this year because not many people watch them anymore, because mostly it's fluff pieces by NBC saying, oh, this guy was raised by his two mommies and he wound up such a good person. They'll probably do 15 different spreads on the U.S. women's soccer team that most of America hopes loses because they are so anti-American, even though Megan Rapinoe is no longer on the team. But that's what's going to happen. We're going to watch people taking knees or turning their back for the national anthem. And it's going to be real interesting because which party do those people support? It's funny watching Maloney or Milley or LePen win elections handily and wonder what's going to happen in the United States, because Italy threw out the anti-Italian. Argentina threw out the anti-Argentinian. And France just threw out the anti-French politician and brought in patriots. Gee, I wonder what the United States is going to do. Are we going to be like France, like Argentina, like Italy, like Hungary, and go back to what made this country great in the first place? Or are we going to be like Mexico and give it up to the criminal element and the globalists? It's been a good few days, if you're a conservative in this country, watching the left eat its own, watching them just completely fall apart. It's funny because the down ballot candidates, Senate and House candidates, are fleeing like rats from the Titanic, distancing themselves from Joe as much as they can because they know Joe is a cancer and Joe is going to get his ass handed to him, and they're trying to protect their own skin. Don't let them. Any of these liberals, tie them to Joe. Do whatever you can, okay? Whether it's at one of their rallies, go talk about their abortion record. If it's on Facebook or Twitter, go talk about their record on crime and how they voted, and how they voted for 100% or 99% of, whatever Joe wanted. Their stance on the southern border. Make them eat their own words. I hope to God they choke on them. Pinball out.